Just imagine yourself standing on a stage, being judged by the way you look, the color of your hair, the color of your skin, and judged on the weight you either have or don't have. Well, this is what life looks like for most girls from ages 2 to 22, as they've spent their whole lives competing in the corrupt system of beauty pageants. Now, you've probably heard of the many popular pageants like Miss Universe, Miss USA, or even watched certain pageants from the silver screen. But what really goes on behind the scenes of beauty pageants, and how can they affect these girls' lives? The pageant industry needs to evolve and change their ways of perceiving and altering their contestants' lives, as it can take an extreme toll on their mental health and physical health, the lack of diversity among the pageants, and the amount of money it costs and how much it costs to take over their livelihood. Some people may oppose this way of seeing the pageant industry, and has been seeing oh god and seeing how pageants can either boost their self-esteem and confidence, and may open up many different opportunities for these girls, but what they are not acknowledging is the risk being taken into the lives of these contestants. With that being said, one of the major impacts the pageant industry has had on the contestants is their physical and mental health. Pageants can be seen as shallow and a major source of stress for the participants. The atmosphere of these environments can be extremely toxic and to oneself, as being constantly compared to the other participants. The pageant industry can lead to eating disorders, depression and anxiety, PTSD, OCD, body dysmorphia, and a lack of self-confidence overall. 26% of women have been told or perceive that they are suffering from an eating disorder just at the age of 16. One show that represents these issues is the now canceled television show Toddlers and Tiaras. In this show, you witness little girls as young as the age of 1 being forced to wear heavy makeup and an excessive amount of hairspray while being reprimanded by their parents or coaches. These pageants can be so detrimental to the contestants' lives that they can even go as far as leading them into death. On January of 2022, former Miss 2019, Miss USA Chelsea Chris committed suicide. Chelsea's mother claims days after the death that she suffered from depression brought on by the competition and the competitive atmosphere that changed the way she sees her life, and overall how the competition affected her mental health. According to Miss Utah's Outstanding 2020 to 2021, Charlie Sorensen claims that, "I think people just assume that that just because she was successful, she was happy, as well as we put her on a pedestal, which can feel like a lot of pressure." Another downside to the beauty pageant industry is a lack of diversity among the contestants. While different beauty pageants like Miss Universe may show different cultures and different religions, it comes to the more local state pageants, or even the Miss Teen pageants, that hold a lack of diversity. Many girls face colorism and discrimination in the pageant community just based on what their skin looks like. Like Gabrielle Tavares, the first Black woman to win Miss Massachusetts, claims that while she was competing, she was constantly being told that her skin tone or in complexion wasn't beautiful just because of her darker skin color. While for decades and decades, the pageant industry has caught the attention of many different eyes worldwide and have caught in many different, including civil rights acts and feminist groups, that have called out the Miss America beauty pageant for enlisting predominantly white complexions and objectifying women's bodies. But it wasn't until during the 1930s where the Miss America organization enlisted a rule stating that the pageant contestants have to be in good health and of the white race. This rule was later abolished in the 1950s, but it wasn't until the 1970s where the first Black woman would compete in the Miss America competition. She was representing Miss Iowa America. Although it still wouldn't be until 13 years later where the first Black woman would win Miss USA. Vanessa Williams would be crowned Miss America. Now, many people have the ability to grow and see the change in the pageant industry, but I'm going to be honest with you, it's not very cheap. So if you guys decide to enroll yourself into a pageant competition, let me just show you some of the costs just to get in and how much it's going to be. Parents of the contestants can or will be asked to sell things called sponsored tickets, which can range from $1 to $20. These sponsored tickets can get you into the pageant and can be entered into a raffle. For the contestants, however, there is an entry fee that can range from $20 to $750, depending on the high level of the pageant or how prestige it is. Overall, these pageants can cost anywhere from $800 to $4,500. That includes the elaborate costumes, the hair, the makeup, the entry fees, and the travel fees. But if you believe you have the ability to win these tough competitions, you can be rewarded with anywhere from $50 to $10,000, depending on the pageant's societal and economic benefits. As I close here today, I hope that while you're watching the next Miss Universe pageant or the Miss USA pageant or even an episode of Toddlers and Tiaras, you keep in mind the incredible toll that it can take on the contestants' physical and mental health, the lack of diversity among the pageants, and the huge amount of money it takes over the contestants' money and livelihoods. We have the power and ability to change the corrupt system and make it not only enjoyable for us to witness, but enjoyable for the beautiful women competing, no matter what they look like.